Father Mousinho Ataide, and Father Mousinho is actually a priest at the Saligaon Seminary.
Yes.
Hi, we are welcome. So we are always fighting online, so it might give the impression that we are antagonists, but we are not. So Father Mousinho has done this book, which is an amazing book, and it's called Grammar of the Konkani Language. Its story is even more amazing. So it was sitting as a manuscript for 100 years in the Central Library, and someone hinted about it to him, and he got the idea that we should revive it. You know, it's written originally by Sebastião Dalgado, so this is a translation of it. He's translated from Portuguese into English because Portuguese would not be much sense today.
And it's about Konkani.
It's everything about Konkani. So he'll tell you.
As we have got French grammar
And English.
in English, like that.
Right.
No, but Father, sorry.
It is.
Yeah, it was. We've got enough copies. He went to Panjim to get him. I told Broadway that we are having a talk, so he sent man to Panjim to get. I will not come in between you and Father, but we requested him to focus on one very narrow page, which is called interjections in Konkani. And he'll tell you, of course, he cannot complete his talk without telling you about the book as a whole, because it's so rich. No, I was amazed at Dalgado's work. It reflects to the impact of Dalgado, and it reflects to the genius of Father to revive the work, find a co-author who's another younger priest, and translate it into English so that it's accessible to us. But over to you and interjections.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. See, I was studying at Saligaon Seminary. I studied Saligaon Seminary, and I had a teacher of Portuguese, Father Frederick. He was a great lover and knowledgeable about Portuguese and the literature. After the liberation, he became a bit downcast after liberation. But anyway, he was my professor, and he liked me. He has a book called Esboço da História da Literatura Indo-Portuguesa, outline of the history of Portuguese in the Portuguese literature. So many authors, and he divided those authors according to the topics: essays, fiction, history, journalism. And at last, at the end, without putting him into any of these categories, he had a category of his own: Sebastião Rodolfo Dalgado. And he said he did not fit in any of these categories. He is a category in himself. And he spoke with such glowing enthusiasm about Rodolfo Dalgado, Sebastião Rodolfo Dalgado. And at the end of the class, I asked him, why is it that you are so eloquent today? Why? He's usually not so eloquent, but he used to like me. I asked him, why you are so eloquent today? He said, you don't know. Ataide, você não sabe. You don't know. You don't know. We don't have a personality of his stature in Goa. We have not had, we do not have, and my only prayer that someone may rise. And he told me, he added, he said, when the Institute Vasco da Gama, after liberation, there was a proposal to change it, and they named it after Menezes Bragança. He said it should have been named after Sebastião Rodolfo Dalgado. There is no comparison, he says. There is no comparison. And remember that he belongs to the caste of Menezes Bragança, not to that of Sebastião Rodolfo Dalgado. Anyway, he was above all castes. So I also took a liking for this man. When I came from Rome, I was at Rashol. From Rashol, it was very difficult to move to the Central Library because I don't have any transport. You know, I don't even drive a cycle. So I was stuck. When I came to Neura, it was easier. Take a bus and come to the city. So I used to go often to the central library, and especially that area with the rare books. One day I saw some books there, very well covered. So sometime in a still lying in a state, as we say, with this great man who died. So I asked the librarian, what is this?
Paiva.
Yes, Marinium Paiva. So she said, you want to see? She showed me a number, we're not interested. At the end, not at the end, because it was at the end for me. She showed me, unwrapped, a book called Grammatica da Língua Konkani to Sebastião Rodolfo Dalgado. Manuscript? It's handwritten.
Wow.
Handwritten. I went through it. Not possible to decipher. The ink had faded. The paper was becoming
brittle.
So I said, what shall I do? What shall I do? But I said, I shall. It is in Portuguese. I know Portuguese, but the Portuguese also was somewhat old, not the Portuguese of today. Then the Konkani was first in Devanagari, and its transliteration into Roman, but not Luso-Roman, not of the Portuguese, but of Jonesian style. That is, for example, fator, fa, te, r. Fatar. We pronounce it as fatar. Now this transliteration into the Jonesian system is PHA. To say that it is a long, not a, but a, you put a sign, T, O, R, A.
There's an A also there.
Because Devanagari, there is no consonant standing on itself. Each consonant has its own vowel. But
Each one.
But it happens what? Sometimes it is mute. Sometimes unless it is half. In that case we call it zarakshar. Amcha. Ch is not full. Here, amcha. Zorakshar. So I said, I require someone's help. And I spoke somehow or the other. I met Madhvi Sardesai. You must be knowing that woman.
Yeah, of course.
Madhvi Sardesai. She was teaching at
University.
Yes.
Head of Konkani.
She never became head. Unfortunately, she did not become a head. But I met her. Madhvi Bai, Oshemella Maka, Korea. Tu matchi Portuguese janoi, au bari janu Portuguese. Tu badi English janoi, au matchi English janu. Konkani dogai janu ami. Devanagari, I am a lover of the Devanagari, but I am not very much conversant. I require someone's help. She says, dogai Korea, father, dogai Korea. See, before beginning, she was diagnosed as a cancer patient.
Very fast she died. At the age of 50.
But I met a priest, a good friend of mine, who is very conversant in Devanagari. He assisted me. But then what happens now? I took 7 years to decipher. Sometimes with big, what is called that?
Magnifying glass.
Fine glass.
Big magnifying glass to decipher. And even after deciphering, if you ask me, are you 100% sure? I would have my own doubts. But I think as far as I could, I did justice.
And you brought his manuscript to life after 100 years of sitting there.
Yes.
100 years, exactly 100 years.
Yes, because yes, he was.
So you would have some cameras and stuff, no? To look at papers, to decipher.
He was doing with a magnifying glass.
Infrared.
Just in infrared, to find out things that you cannot see in print.
See what happens now.
You didn't have any of that.
After no, I'm an illiterate as far as these technologies are concerned.
The government and the ASI.
It's like the medieval scribe. You did the medieval scribe way, right?
I do everything
Letter
handwritten.
by letter. Yeah.
Handwritten. And fountain pen. Huh?
Fountain.
आता जवळ आमच्या मागणं WhatsAppचे.
Anyway,
Father,
so
no.
I see.
Sure, off topic. That's a flame bait.
I'm a
That's a
big
flame
fan
bait.
of that, Father. You keep it up.
That's a flame bait. That's a flame bait. Oh, this is off topic.
Now what happens now? The priest was helping me. He migrated to England.
That is father.
Father, what's called his name? Cristo de Menezes. But I consider him as a co-author, I would say co-translator, co-editor.
Maybe how would they be authors? Because they're just translating it.
How do you author a book? There are different ways to author.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So he is the author.
Right. Original.
No, he is contesting that. VM is saying that there are different ways of authoring a book.
So
your contribution is also there.
7 years of painstaking effort. I'm not going to sell my prowess, nothing. But I only affirm the fact. And I was really happy when this came.
22.
22. It came 22 because in this year is the centenary of his death. Centenary of his death. See?
Father, you were saying he kept it there because he knew he was going to die?
Yes.
Kept it there.
In the central
Next
library.
weekend.
He offered
the
it.
predecessor of the central library.
He offered it to Central Library because he says he writes there.
Wow. It's all in this? You wrote?
Yes.
Epitaph.
Yes. No, he doesn't, not epitaph, but see,
Who writes? He writes or you write?
he says, manuscript of the grammar of Konkani language, this is my translation,
Yeah.
by Sebastião Rodolfo Dalgado, who various and serious reasons cannot conclude it and make a fair copy of the printing. And it's February 1922. Lisbon.
Exact.
And he died on 4th April.
Published by Broadway.
Yeah.
This.
So he gave it to, just to get it right, he gave it
Yes.
to the Central Library in Lisbon or the Central
No.
Library
No, here.
in Bangalore?
4th April 1922 he died.
He wrote this in February and died in April.
Yes.
Wow.
And he sent. Now see.
And he kept it there before going. Just imagine here. Just imagine.
It's miraculous that you rescued it.
For
Yeah,
10 years, he was a physical wreck. He was suffering from high diabetes. And then one leg was amputated, followed by the second. But see, amazing is this, that he took advantage of his disablement to dedicate himself totally to the writings. So he did not have to move around. No? Books would come to him. People would come to him. And the amount of books he wrote. I'll just mention a few.
Some are available on archive.org. You can get the full text of that glossario and all that, no?
That was Portuguese though.
No, not at all. Not one drop of Portuguese blood.
No. He's talking about language. What?
No, I'm not talking about language.
Hey, Dalgado.
Dalgado.
So Dalgado, Frederick only said last time.
See what happened. So what happened? That one of his books was
Father, तू
translated.
कसं जाणार Portuguese blood ना? Certificate देतात
Today
ना?
you can do DNA testing.
Dalgado profession.
किती झाले तू सांगते आहे.
Now the third world war is going to start here.
It's a profession, no?
No.
See what
Surname.
What
No, but it's a
Delgado is
surname
also a
from-
profession. Yeah, it
it's a
means
surname
lawyer,
from a
delegate.
profession.
Yeah.
What
See,
profession?
Delegate, lawyer.
So he's from
What it means to say. They were all-
I tried hard. All the dictionaries available.
No?
I consulted someone in Portugal. He says there is no Dalgado. There is Delgado.
Oh.
Delgado comes from Latin delicatus, delicate. But no, Dalgado has no meaning.
But we have Delgados in Spain, as far as I'm sure.
But no
Maybe
meaning.
Latin America.
No
Maybe
meaning as
some
such.
meaning.
No
Or
meaning.
in Spanish?
And that one, there is one Antonio Xavier Suarez. He translated one of his books, and he says this. His original surname was Desai. Desai was Sir Desai, and his mother's surname was Mudra.
What?
Mudra. Mudra means the stamp.
Yeah.
So, coat of arms, some kind of that. And he says that surname, original surname, which had a meaning, was converted by the Portuguese into a surname which has no meaning. Dalgado. Now, see, I'll just go through his works. Dicionário Konkani Português. Konkani Portuguese Dictionary. Big one. See,
It's visible, Father. It's
Eh?
accessible. Kuimyata.
It was accessible when that Asian
Educational services.
services were there. But they were also closed down. I don't know now. So, and I've compared now with these new dictionaries. There are many words which are not there in the new dictionaries, which are there in Dalgado. Of all, he basically he was a Bardeskar,
Asagam.
Asagam, and Bardeskar Saraswat, because not all Bardeskars also speak the same way. Not all. But that he took his language as a basis. He had to take some. And then he gathered the words of all the other language, of all the other varieties.
This is in which book, Father?
Eh?
This is in which book?
Dicionário Konkani Português.
He's taken other dialects?
Yes. But he doesn't say that.
Okay.
But you can see.
Okay.
Then another one, no, he says that even from Karnataka, Karwar, because he was there. Another one was Portuguese Konkani, also a big, huge one. Then there is Florilégio dos Provérbios Konkanis, that is a garland of proverbs. Based on that, the other books and proverbs have come.
I see.
And he gives those proverbs according to the topics, the age, and so on. He gives. And then he explains also.
Did he always keep to this pattern? Two questions, Father. Did he always keep to this pattern of writing in both scripts? As
No.
Well? No.
That he did only for Konkani Portuguese dictionary. The others he wrote in Roman, but not Luso-Roman, which is here, but Jonesian Roman.
So what is that, Father?
Jonesian-
William Jones.
Jones, Sir Jones,
She knows.
English,
Oriental.
Yes.
Famous Oriental.
because it is not the same.
Founder of the Asiatic.
No one now reads Jonesian. No one now reads. I will go further. Grammatica da Lingua Konkani, this one. Then he was a dialectologist. Wherever he went, he studied. For example, he was a Vicar General of Goths. He studied the Konkani dialect from there. He was in Karwar from there. He was in Ceylon from there. So, dialectologist. Dialeto indo-português de Ceylon. Dialeto indo-português da Goa. Dialeto indo-português da Damão. Dialeto indo-português do Norte. Those East Indians, no?
Yeah.
East
Bombay.
Indians.
Bombay side.
Norteiros.
Not here.
Then it translated directly from Sanskrit into Portuguese, 2 books. Hitopadesha. And then another history of Nala and Damayanti in an episode from Mahabharata. Directly.
Directly.
Yes.
From this to that.
Yes. And then he was a professor of Sanskrit in Portuguese, in Portugal. For his students, he published elements of Sanskrit language, rudimentos da língua sânscritica, a basic course of Sanskrit. Then his great work, influence of Portuguese vocabulary into on Asiatic languages.
Amazing, huh? He studies how Portuguese has
At
influenced
least
so many
they-
languages.
he's-
It's still there on archive.org. You'll find it.
He says,
Get a full PDF.
But only
Full
in
PDF.
Only in Portuguese,
yes,
Yes.
not translated.
now it has been translated
Okay.
By Suarez.
by Suarez.
And Suarez is who, by the way, sorry for the interruption, I must tell you this. Suarez is from that Suarez family in Moira, in Aldona, where they have that Suarez statue, no? Edward Suarez,
Yes,
that family.
of course,
His daughter is some Alice Suarez or something like that. And his grandchildren are including that Professor Rukmini Baya Nair, who you won't guess with a name like Rukmini Baya Nair. She co-authored that book with Peter on, on keywords. What's that? What's the name of the book? Latest book on keywords or something like that. So she's a retired professor of JNU in history.
yeah.
In English.
Important, well-known lecture. I have no idea.
Yeah, she's around. Sorry.
So, and then he wrote 2 volumes, huge volumes, Glossario Luso-Asiático, that is influence of
Konkani
Asiatic languages.
on Portuguese.
Portuguese.
That's what I was looking for because
Amazing.
because we talk about influence of Portuguese on Konkani. What about the
See
other
what
way
happened
around?
though? That Herald had a Portuguese half page.
Yeah.
So I'm a fool. I rush where the angels
Fear
fear
to
to
tread.
tread. So
No, Hasta.
one day they wrote an article. Good article. I'm not nothing to do. Influence of the Portuguese on Konkani. Objective one. I sent another article. Influence of Konkani on
Portuguese.
it never saw the day, the light.
Nice, this is on record, huh? Magita, sue you and sue me first.
Never saw the light of the day. Anyway,
But that's an important subject.
and see, with some writings by my professor, revered professor, Father Feline Krishnidiyesh, I could gather around 145 or maybe more words, Konkani words, which are there in
Like for example,
Paco,
bat.
big bat. There are many others. So I made it. I could
Chamusas.
not publish all those 145.
Chamusas, no? Chamusas we have.
Yeah, that's
Samosas.
more
Th-
than
they are-
That's all.
I'm not very sure, but a list. Aboli,
amazing.
Kaboli, because the Portuguese,
Blanket.
Portuguese they give their own intonation. No?
Yeah.
They do not have a hard T, ta. So around, I gathered around 145, maybe there may be more words from the.
Don't lose that list, huh? Otherwise our grandchildren will have to go searching after this.
You'll have to go to
Wait.
Braganza. Braganza.
I know.
See, and then see, he was in Portugal, no? Totally incapacitated. He could not move. Rodanje.
Wheelchair.
But he knew what was happening around. And see, no internet, nothing of the sort, no? Someday they wrote. And there was here a controversy. There were some Hindus. I would not say, not because of they are Hindus, huh? One,
Carry on, Father.
Samba Sardesai and others who said that the Konkani is not a language. Konkani is a dialect of Marathi. And he wrote 7 articles. One article, but in 7 installments in Herald, saying that Konkani is not a dialect, is an independent language. And his arguments are from the vocabulary. Basic vocabulary, he says, is different. Phonology, phonetics, morphology, syntax. He says, all that. For example, one of the things he says, no? Pedro, my God. No, Mousinho de. Ra, kiran Korea ka.
The answer in your name.
Jake, my Dalgado's family calling.
Just bupon kor Mousinho.
Father also busy, huh? My kora. Father is busy.
Father, one question.
No, I'm gonna.
He finished telling us.
Sir.
I was saying what?
We have time for questions.
When they said that Konkani is not
Dialect.
All those arguments, vocabulary,
yeah.
phonetics, morphology, syntax. One of the things he mentioned, no? Pedro Boro. Like Sanskrit, the verb is understood,
Yeah.
is not explicit. It says only in Sanskrit and in Konkani. Marathi,
Hey.
Pedro, Boro, Ahe. Hindi, Hai.
Hey.
Portuguese, Pedro é bom. English,
Is
Peter is good. He doesn't mention French, but I say this is the same thing.
Yeah.
So he says, nowadays they say Zaunasa, all these big authors, like a
Where that comes from, Father? Zaunasa?
Zaunasa, because they see, for
happens
Hindus,
to be Zaunasa.
for Hindus, it is an influence of Marathi. For Christians, it is influence of Portuguese or English.
Portuguese what?
Yeah, Pedro é bom. There is always the verb is expressed.
So Zaunasa has come in as a kind of a verb.
Present
isn't it?
continuous. Present
So, how,
continuous.
so in a sentence you say Boro Zaunasa.
So when you speak, you don't say Pedro
formal
Boro.
language.
Yeah,
Formal
you say
language.
But once you ascend the platform, once a priest ascends the
Formal
pulpit,
Sounds very
language.
pompous.
Formal language. The use of formal language.
eh, so I wrote once, but it has no effect. It has no effect. Anyway, so this is Dalgado for me was a great man.
So just to wind up, you tell us now the interjections.
Now interjections.
This is the background. Now the
Interjection. I do not know why my friend. He's still my friend, huh? And he will continue to be my friend. Now, I don't know why he has chosen interjections. Interjections are the last and the least parts of speech.
But Father, it's so entertaining and informative.
So first we have got the nouns, adjectives, pronouns, numerals, verbs, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and at the end,
The poor cousins. The poor cousins are the interjections.
now interjections.
She.
I tried to see,
You're saying she.
It's an interjection.
I know.
I tried to see all the grammars which I have got. I don't have many, but of Konkani. But none of them has got so many as
It's so
Dalgado has
entertaining.
got.
Jesse.
So many as Dalgado has
entertaining,
got.
yeah.
I'll just go through.
You'll be some
A few.
No, all.
Hi. Hi.
For what, Father? Just
Sangka.
explain. Pain.
Hi hui. Oi.
Meaning.
No, I'll say. Oi ge. I ge. Hui. Ahai. Is.
Meaning,
Us.
Father.
Sangka hai.
No, not French.
Ah, what?
Ho.
Oh.
Now all these express one way or the other pain.
Oh.
Pain. None of the grammars have got this.
Different degrees of pain, no, Father?
Yes, different degrees of pain, different kinds. And it depends on your intonation also.
Yeah. You say it
So
properly.
these are monosyllables. I'll go further. Kota. Kota. What a pity, no? What a pity.
Also.
It's used now.
Alala.
Oh.
Aha. Ha. Ahaha. Aha. Abare.
What is this?
Ra Sanjay.
For pain.
Ha.
Pain is over.
Yes, no. What a joy.
No. What are these, Father? All these series?
No, to express joy.
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 Not pain.
Okay, now.
Joy, admiration. But it depends on the intonation. Huh? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Ah, what a marvel. You have written such a beautiful article. What a marvel.
Appreciation.
What about our voice?
Alalai. Alalai means, what a goodness. My goodness, we say, no? Alalai. Kai, what? Kai Baro, what a beautiful. What a surprise. Hahum. Stop, wait. Hahum. Wait. You are speaking too much. It is time for you to tell me this now. Shabas. Shabas.
Appreciation.
Congratulations. You have passed with flying colors, no? Chi. Chichi. Titu. Tu. Tutu. She. Shishi.
No.
This is where the sheep
Fu.
comes from.
Uhu. All the same there.
Disgust.
What you are speaking? Rubbish.
But so many words to express the same sentiment, no? Different degrees of it.
Yes. That's all.
I thought two was evil like.
No. So maybe.
Yeah. She,
Multiple
too.
uses.
Same
Maybe.
thing.
Connected,
She
connected.
and two
It's a
together.
sound.
Or,
Babare. Babare may help. Suppose that there is an accident. Babare.
No, Babri is different. Babri.
Babare.
Translate to the conductor.
No, Babri is different.
Babri is the bus.
Babri is respect, I think.
Now, chup. Chip. Chipran. Gup chip. Gup chup. Quiet. You can say this in your class.
I know. They'll tell me to go chup.
Whom? Pice. Get out.
Twice.
To the road. Hus.
Lagvate.
Hus. Hot pain. Today is hot. Hus.
We heard that.
So for get out now, the Portuguese influence on the Konkani, what is Ashmad?
It's come from Vaisi Mbora. No?
I know.
Oshimbora. Vaisa Mbora. No, Professor.
And age, are, so on. To a Christian Brahmin lady.
Age.
Are.
Ade. Yeah, that's interesting.
No, I don't know whether they call it now.
Honorific maleness. Yeah.
Yeah, but the woman, even a
Yeah,
woman
you're
was called Ade.
destroying equality.
Ga, ge, go, re. Emphatic. No.
I'm a little busy calling.
Kurre.
Good evening.
Do it.
I'm a little busy. I'm at a session.
Vyatay re.
Yeah.
Vyatay re.
Even for a lady.
Emphatic, no? Alright. And for there are some which are, for example, for animals, no?
That's a
Baba.
chapter in itself.
Baba, to call whom? Baba.
Chicken.
Chickens.
Ba.
Shuk.
Shook, yeah.
Drive away.
Yeah.
Bish.
Dog.
Dogs. Chuk. Pigs.
Everyone-
Bang. For goats. I did not know about it.
Bang.
Bang.
Goats.
Ba. For cows.
It is like their sound, no? You are imitating their sound.
Yes.
You are talking their language.
So I found, in many of these grammars, Konkani grammars, they mention 2, 3, 4. But such a big list. And he says it is not complete. The worth of big man is precisely this humility. And with this,
Wow.
With this, VM's 2 questions are waiting.
I have a question.
please, I don't think I will be able to answer your questions.
Why?
Anyway, you
He's
can.
prejudged you. Finish. Now answer. Ask Ray. Sir, Ray.
I'm already shut up.
No. My God, you speak.
No. Just, my question to you is, along with this scientific work, which is essentially like encyclopedic, doing encyclopedias, did he write any essays about his love for Konkani language? Why Konkani? Did he make
Yes. He wrote, for example, all those 7 articles or one article in 7 installments.
Yeah.
And would they be published? Are they published somewhere in some catalogs?
No, they are in the
It would be over 100 years old.
Newspaper,
Yes.
I think. Newspaper.
they are in
In the
the
archives.
in the
Newspaper.
in the newspaper.
Herald.
Added to his grammar.
See, just one interruption, Father. In those days, a lot of our writing was done to the newspapers, VM.
Yeah, I know.
Therefore, even short stories are all there. Paul Melo Castro compiled many of those. So they are all scattered all over the place, and we are not studying them.
So
That is the issue.
such a great man. And I think he died at the age of 65, 67. Yeah. Another question?
No, but sorry, Father, I have to go. Can I take a photograph of you with the book? If you don't mind?
Yeah, please.
I'll do.
Please, Atats ko re. Father, Atats ko re.
I need Father over
You
here.
have to stand
I
somewhere.
can wait for him.
2 minutes.
So I think I spoke too much.
No.
Very interesting.
Fascinating.
So one question.
Any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, you
You
hold
said
your silence.
Konkani is a language, which we agree. What about Thomas Stevens and his connection with Dalgado?
See, he refers in his grammar. He makes lot of reference. Thomas Stephens. Footnotes. If you see the footnotes, Thomas Stephens, Diogdo Ribeiro. Others also, Arcamone, Jesuits. Then Miguel, something the São Miguel. He was a Franciscan. He makes reference.
Because Thomas Stevens was 2 centuries earlier.
Yes, he makes a reference, for example, to other to
Writers.
Maffei, Angelo Francis Xavier Maffei. He's an Italian. He's an Italian he's an Italian who came to India, and he was in Bangalore. He makes reference to him. He tried to make reference to everyone, took into account all effort. He was not one-sided.
So these were in connection with Konkani.
Konkani.
Right.
You find mention of it in his book, in his grammar. He was an encyclopedic mind. Great man.
Because Thomas Stevens was an Englishman. But he came to Goa and learned Konkani and wrote in Konkani.
Yes. Grammar.
So would this book now become part of the university course or something? No? This
See,
is like a
see,
treasure chest.
my understanding with who published it is Broadway.
Yeah.
My understanding with Broadway is that you give me a number of books,
Just hold it.
which I will offer gift to my friends, individuals, not to any institution. Let the institutions buy. I did not even offer to the Saligaon Seminary. But Saligaon Seminary has not come forward to.
Right.
To any politics, Gota, Father. Your book is for sale there. I'm just joking. Book is for sale there, in case you
Now,
want.
I mean, another thing, no.
People don't appreciate the worth of
I
everyone does.
offered to so many. I've got a list. All those professors, the head of department and so on in the university. I kept the book, and I told them, phoned to them, I kept the books with dedication. In Panjim, there is one books.
Varsha.
Varsha. For 2 months they were lying there. Did not collect, and I cannot convert a Varsha book stall into a godown. I brought them back.
And why, Father, why do you
Father,
why do you think this is a general kind of in academia? This
Not
attitude
academia
towards,
only. See, we are forgetting our past. No.
It's also inconvenient to keep
But is it also a kind of a more central thing about, considering that Konkani is not so
What?
good, Marathi has to be brought
It's
in?
inconvenient. You're expanding the curriculum. You're adding more information about someone who's already.
Also, it's VM. It's the pain of a small culture. No.
No, but now now, Vivek, if you want to get a government job, if you go for interviews for English, if you go to an institution for English, they ask you to speak in Konkani. They say, can you explain this in Konkani? Yeah, Konkani seems to be very important now to get a job. But if we don't have books like this, the grammar of Konkani, so maybe in some way, to kind of introduce the very history of it, if not the book itself, this kind of a history.
Father, I must congratulate you. Invaluable work. But can I take a photograph?
Yes, sure. I'm coming.
Well, unfortunately, I have to leave.
Yes, sure. I'm coming. Just 1 second. Huh? I'm putting it mute.
Father, we just wind up
Yes.
and give it over.
Yes. I don't want to.
Thank you so much.
I don't want
Just
to
go
on.
No, but really appreciate.
I might have tired you.
Really appreciate, Father. It's very enlightening. We are grateful for all the knowledge download you have given us, and it's an amazing piece of work. Don't forget your phone if it's yours.
He's going to take a picture.
Yeah, but it's an amazing piece of work.
We have to have father talk.
Yes. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Just 1 second. Huh?
Congratulations.
Good job. You are taking him out. You are taking father out. Chal, carry on.
I'm coming.